Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. But this video is for anyone that's holding any crypto, because I'm going to show you what's happening now and where it's going to take us from here. Confluences for a regulatory bull run are here. All three conditions have lined up: market, regulations, and infrastructure. You know, everybody's acting like the bull run's over. You know, it hasn't even started yet. We are still going to have an alt season over the coming months, and people seem to be giving up, acting like it's all over. Time to get ready to sit back for another 4 years and wait for the next cycle. The time is now to get invested. This run over the next couple of months, crypto's going to change like never before. Take a listen.
For European banks, the time to act is now. Forces have never previously converged in this way as we see it now. During previous bull markets, banks and financial institutions always had the risk of a regulatory uncertainty. Even if digital asset represented a viable and an intriguing business opportunity, the technology and the infrastructure took a bit of time to develop. Both are now in a much more mature state than ever before. And 2024, for the first time, all three conditions, market, regulation, and infrastructure, are finally all in place. This is a huge opportunity for banks across Europe, and the time to capture it is now.
And the time for anyone to get invested is right now, because this market can turn around at any moment. And all of a sudden, we start moving upward very fast. And, you know, crypto is about to change forever because we have regulations on the way. You have a possible utility run that could take place starting next year because we got ISO going live. Basel III, I think, is going to have a big impact on crypto as well. Plus, once you get regulations, you're going to get institutional adoption, and it's going to happen very fast. Bull run confirmed for 2024 to 2025 by the AIBC World Summit. It's one of the leading events globally for blockchain, AI, crypto, and other emerging technologies. After the elections, crypto should go on a tear. And that's what I think is holding us up, because the election is having a very big impact on the DXY. It's pushing the DXY higher. And as long as the DXY holds up, crypto's still going to be held down. I think shortly after the election, we're going to watch the fall of the DXY and the rise of crypto at the same time. HSBC shows how custody is the base layer for these T+1+0 tokenized assets. Without trusted and secure custody, there is no tokenization future possible. And you know that they utilize Ripple custody. But, you know, custody is going to be very big. And that's going to be good for us because all these assets are going to be tokenized on the XRP ledger. And something has to move that value. And it's all getting put in place now for a massive, I want to say, value surge on the XRP ledger in the very near future. Think about Archax bringing $30 to $50 trillion worth of real-world assets onto the XRP ledger. But it's going to go way beyond Archax. You're going to have so many other companies. We're going to have institutions we never even heard of before tokenizing assets on the XRP ledger. This guy sums up the SEC versus Ripple case in a matter of a couple seconds. Take a listen.
what ends up happening is that a lot of entrenched economic interests fight the technology because it's easier to fight the technology in court than to actually try to improve your systems internally.
That's right.
And that's what happens. Everybody wants to fight the technology. They want to try to slow the technology down. But the problem is this: you could only slow it down for so long. And then because crypto's not going nowhere, RippleNet technology isn't going anywhere, XRP isn't going anywhere, the next thing to happen is a clear path forward, innovation pushes ahead, and adoption happens at the same time. But that's what goes on, especially in the United States. You have all these banks that have been in control for years. They don't want to lose control to something else. So what do? They go to their politician friends, who then go to the SEC, and they try to slow the technology down. But that is all coming to an end. Now let's talk a little bit about CBDC. So you see, Mexico launched CBDC by 2025. If you look at the payments industry trends, you see it. The timeline is perfect because you see ISO 222 adoption, 2024, micropayments, direct debit, in-car payments, that's now becoming a thing. DLT and cross-border payments, biometric payments. The next thing to happen, 2025, is CBDC. And every country is going in this direction. Because Kazakhstan, retail CBDC implemented by 2025. Russia plans to go live in 2025. Brazil, CBDC by end of 2024. And the list goes on and on. All these countries are about to go live with a central bank digital currency. And that's why I said, you look at the BRICS and what's happening there, they're accelerating things. 159 out of 193 countries have signed up to use the new BRICS settlement system. US and European Union will no longer be able to use economic sanctions as a weapon. This system allows countries to settle trades and payments in their own currencies, leveling the playing field, reducing reliance on the US dollar, which has long been the dominant global currency. Now, I'm not a fan of CBDC, but I know the US is going to have one. They're not going to call it a CBDC. They're going to call it a digital dollar stablecoin or something like that. But people keep arguing, oh, Trump said we're not going to have a CBDC, so it's not going to happen. It is going to happen. If the US doesn't get a CBDC, they're going to be cut off from the rest of the world. The world is going digital. Digital payments, digital money, everything is making that transition. Even the banks in the United States are pushing over into a digital system. So the US has no choice. It's coming no matter who is the president. If Harris wins, we get a CBDC. If Trump wins, we get a digital dollar stablecoin. That's what's going to happen next. And again, that's also going to be very big for crypto. And it's going to happen in a year where I think a major crash is going to happen at the same time. You know, people are saying the stock market is going to have a 50% correction next year. And that's coming from big investors that have been in the game for a long period of time. New York Stock Exchange just announced plans to extend weekday trading on its NYSE Arca equities exchange to 22 hours a day. If approved, extended trading would be from 1:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time on all weekdays, excluding holidays. All U.S. listed stocks, ETFs, and closed-end funds would be available for trading on NYSE during the 22-hour weekday sessions. I want to see what happens with that. You ever take notice they sometimes cannot wait until the day closes because it's on a downward trend? Well, now if you're going to be trading 22 hours a day, if it starts tanking, it's not going to stop at 5 o'clock. it's going to continue on. And that dip is going to continue way into the night. So I'm excited to see where this goes from here. And this is also happening in country after country. Say you made £1 million. With the rumors, Labour in UK are set to raise taxes significantly in the autumn budget next week. They're talking about an increase in capital gains tax to 39% and inheritance tax to 40%. So paying 39% on 1 million leaves you with 610,000. Then if you want to leave that money to your kid after you pass, they would have to pay 40% through inheritance tax. So 40% on the 610K leaves them with 366K. By the time that money reaches them, the 1 million made will have reduced almost 70% and taken by the government. That's not even taking into account the fact that fiat currencies have devalued over 50% across a single generation. Factoring in a future 50% reduction in purchasing power over their lifetime means that they would be left with 183,000 purchasing power from an initial $1 million made through hard work of the parent. And that's what I'm telling you. You know, you make money and they just tax the shit out of it. They leave you with nothing in the end. And look at what's proposed in the United States. Harris tax proposal. Corporate tax rate, 28% up from 21%. Capital gains tax, 44.6%, up from 20%. Tax on unrealized gains, which is absolutely the worst, 25%, previously 0%. Biden-Harris administration increased U.S. national debt by $7.4 trillion. Now, you're a crypto investor. Here's what I would start to look at: a trust. Because there's trust out there that allow the money that to be paid to you over time tax-free. Some offer 5 years tax-free. Others, if you set up the trust the right way, you could go tax-free for your lifetime. So, and there's a lot of options out there. And if you search around, you could find the best option for you. But I would definitely start looking into a trust before we start to take off if you're planning to cash out your crypto. And that tax on unrealized gains may force you to sell your crypto anyway, just to cover the taxes. Unrealized gains is the absolute worst idea. That would be the end of the United States. You would have corporations folding up and moving overseas, one after another. The United States would end up being a ghost town. Biggest economic time bomb yet. The real estate Ponzi scheme unraveled. I'm telling you, the real estate bubble is going to pop. And it's going to pop next year when crypto is skyrocketing. And that's why I keep telling you, if you want to get invested into real estate or you want to buy your first house, you might have the best opportunity in your lifetime next year. If we get an absolute blow off top in crypto, could you imagine the price of houses after the bubble pops? People are saying we're going to go pre-2008 prices on houses next year. It's going to start in commercial real estate, but it's going to come into residential as well. Ouch, Moody's cut France credit outlook to negative from stable. Citing fiscal deterioration, debt rating was affirmed at AA2. So it's not only the US. This is going on in every single country right now. I said, this crash is going to be a global crash, and it's setting up perfectly for them to push over to the new financial system, the digital system. And I think that's the end game. And the Fed, they're already ready to go live with the digital dollar. I'm sure they've been working on this ever since back in 2018. They're already ready. They probably have all the infrastructure set up, and it could happen overnight. But first, they need the crisis. And I think that's going to come in the form of a major crash in 2025. But because we're XRP investors, we are going to get rich when it happens. The DXY will be plummeting and crypto will be skyrocketing. And everything is going to be cheaper after the crash happens because everything's going to be readjusted. You know, inflation right now is not even sustainable anymore, and it keeps going higher. That's why I said you need to crash so that they can fix all the problems that we're all facing right now. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.